everybody. Tony Fragametti, your GRT chair here in Washington. Just concluded the second of three negotiated rulemaking sessions. Ended a little bit early because some of the issues that we went through we did pretty good on. Let me start. It's been a busy week. We started out with the President announcing his budget press conference down at Community College in Virginia, and his mention of an $8 billion grant for the community colleges and competitiveness. Obviously, the focus still being on community colleges and their participation in their labor market ready, job ready training that they provide. One positive thing that did come out of that is that the President is looking to extend for one more year the interest rates on the student loans at 3.4%. They were scheduled to go up as of July 1st to 6.8%. It looks like we might get another year extension on that. So that's a good thing for our students, and it will reduce the amount of debt that they have to pay over the life of the loan. The issues, again, 25 issues here at negotiated rulemaking, basically centered around the technical aspects of the student loan program, and the Title IV program, the administration of it, and some of the real technical aspects of the student loan program. Good news is that we reached consensus on 10 out of 25 issues, and not consensus, but tentative agreement. What tentative agreement is means that basically everybody agreed to the fact that in the context and in the language that was presented by the Department of Education in a draft form, that spoke to the issues that we needed to address, and that everybody was in agreement that they did those things. Mostly around the Perkins Loan Program, and really some of the low-hanging fruit, which is not uncommon to do in the negotiated rulemaking session. Take care of the things that there is a great deal of consensus about, and we file, a tentative agreement. But what will happen is when we come back in March, we will probably hit those issues first and reach consensus on those and take them off the table. There's going to be a lot of work to be done in between now and March, centered around ICR and IBR. There was folks within the FELP community, and folks within the lending community, and folks within the servicing community that have a little bit of an issue with some of the mechanics that are being proposed. Remember the ICR, the income contingent repayment, which there are two different plans that they're using on, based on the President's executive order to try and help students to get into payments and save them some money, be in a process where they would like to see that happen now as opposed to 2014, which is part of the legislation and part of the law. That's why there is an IBR program, also income-based repayment. It's based on the President's proposal and based on the laws that were passed last year during appropriations. But the ICR is based on the President's executive order to try and help the 1.6 million students that the government feels may be eligible for income contingent repayment, to help them to loosen up some money in the economy. So we're looking at that. There will be a lot of work done based on that. You also have the issues that are surrounding school closures, which is also in play right now. There was an attempt for some of the folks to extend the window and period of time which students would be eligible for loan discharge under school closure. That was something that the department, after a list of exceptional circumstances beyond the 120 days, which they've extended now the period for loan forgiveness from 90 days prior to the closure of school to 120 days is what was offered. They're looking at also a group of exceptional circumstances, and the student advocates in the Legal Aid Society and the Attorney Generals were advocating to have a list of exceptional circumstances under which the Secretary could extend that 120 days even further. Still working on the mechanics and still trying to wrap our hands around some of the items that we have in there. One of them in particular was about the state action to revoke a license, and really what constitutes the beginning or the end of that process. Obviously the end of it is a revocation of a license, but really where does that start? And it's one of the things that we were concerned about, because we want to be able to kind of hem that in and ensure that that does not reach back 2 or 3 years. We had put out an example about that, and we were pretty much assured that it wouldn't go back that far, but yet nothing in regulation that would prevent that process from going back that far. The other areas where there's going to be some significant conversation is in the cleanup on the FELP and the direct loan regulations. Under the FELP, the eventual phase out and elimination of the FELP program, in a direct loan, setting up some of the regulations that would mirror the process within the prior FFELP program. So that'll go on. There's a lot of that conversation that's going to go on. 300 and some odd pages of one side of the regs, 100 and some odd pages of the other side of the regs. That will go on mostly with the lending community, but again, we'll be monitoring that because that is, again, highly technical in nature. The last thing that's still kind of in play that's a major concern to us is student status, and there was some conversation that went around about how students' status are reported within the traditional community. Namely, our focus is on the community colleges and what's going to happen to those students. We're concerned about the reporting and what happens to these students when they withdraw or when they don't show back up to school, and the fact that they will not be counted as students that were enrolled and then left. And we're going to keep our eye on that because we certainly have a significant interest in how those students are reported and what happens at that point in time. So all in all, really a good week. It was a very lively dialogue for most of the time, but a very beneficial dialogue. One of the things that we see about this negotiated rulemaking session, as opposed to others that we participated in, is that for the most part, these conversations center around what's best for the student and how to best serve the student and how to make sure that the student has every opportunity to avert a default. And one thing about that is we're all kind of on the same page. It wasn't until later on today that some issues came up that were germane to the proprietary sector, but they were relatively soft in matter and were handled in kind. So we look forward to talking to you later. Remember, we've got the spring conference coming up. We've got some other items that the GRT is working on. We'll be getting back to you. You'll also be seeing on the website, you'll be seeing a summary of the President's budget. Take a look at that. If you have any questions, you can call Tom or myself or email us. We've got the spring conference coming up. As I said, we've got some great programs available to you that are going to help you in the transition and the things that you need to do, ensuring that you have the proper disclosures on your website, your net price calculator, and the templates that are going to be coming up. We also found out this week that there's going to be a little bit of a delay in the release of the preliminary default rates. We're looking now at the end of December for the one aspect and beginning of March for another aspect.
End of February.
End of February and the beginning of March. I'm a month ahead. So that's when these notices will come out. So if you're sitting nervously by your mailbox waiting for your draft rates, don't worry, you've got till the end of February and then the beginning of March. So we look forward to seeing you. Hope you took some time to look through some of the information that's on the website. And remember to keep on watching your mailboxes for the posts that are sent out by our communications team. This is Tony Fragmenti, Washington, D.C., the Department of Education. Have a great night.